Everything that is leading us away from getting back on track, man. Everything. We want to kill one another, fight one another, gossip about one another. Am I striking some nerves out there, bro? I need to know this, man. Cause I'm trying to tell you, man. This is named the elephant in the room for a reason.
Hello, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. I'm here with my co-host Tyler Jones.
Good evening, everyone.
Yep. In this segment of Elephant in the Room, we're going to cover a couple of things. We're talking about our interview that we had with the executive for Executive Decision.
Okay.
Tyler, what did you think about it?
I think it was a good, cordial interview. I think our county executive was very willing and open to answer any questions that were presented to her, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think you had some really good questions, both you and Pax. I want to talk about some of those issues that we talked about. Like, I like the fact that you brought up about the community and input that the community needs to have in 287G and other things that are going on. Do you feel that she kind of let you know that she wants to do that same thing?
I feel like she let me know that she has met with the NAACP and various other communities behind the scenes. I feel like some of that needs to be put out to the general public because it seems like there's radio silence for months on end. But in our dialogue, I feel like she was very forthcoming even to express those things.
And thank you. And I also noticed that you said that it would be nice if actually maybe the sheriff's office would come out and do a town hall. One thing, when I went back and I looked at the interview, I also noticed that she said that a lot of times the pressure from this situation with 287G falls on her. But it's up to her lately. It should have not just fell in her lap. Do you agree?
I think that she's been the forward face of 287G, and due to that, a lot of people are going to look at her for the necessary answers. So in the conversation that she and I shared, we all shared, she did inform us that the sheriff, hey, he is the top law official. He is passionate about public safety, and this is what he thought should be done. I do believe that we absolutely should support our sheriff and not necessarily say that we would know more than the top law enforcement official, but I also think that should be balanced with community outcry. Like, if you're hearing the outcry, then maybe just have a sit down and explain the reasoning behind it. And I think for a lot of people, it's just a deal breaker.
Yes, it is. And you were saying that people don't want people just showing up in the neighborhoods with masks on and stuff. And I think a lot of times that law enforcement is not received in a lot of neighborhoods because they only see them when those kind of situations happen. I mean, and you really kind of shine some light on the area that I wonder, does it happen not just with the sheriff's office, but are there enough town halls happening everywhere that people know, hey, these is our sheriffs, this is our police officers. This is what may be happening because it's coming out from either state or federal government. Instead of all of a sudden you're seeing what we call jump out boys. You see these cars just showing up in the neighborhoods. I mean, do you think that if more law enforcement, I'm not just talking about with 287G, would actually be more out there?
I think that could try to turn around the narrative, and I believe that's what they're trying to do with the National Night Out. Like, where you can go there and you can interact with law enforcement. For a lot of people, not necessarily. I don't think that that's the sole answer to the issue. But I do think it's a decent start. But to your point earlier on when you were saying, hey, are there enough town halls? I have to give Councilwoman April Jackson her kudos right now.
She does a great job with them.
Not not necessarily town halls, but her in the community in general. Giving back to the kids. She does a lot of things with the kids.
She's everywhere.
She has events going on with the seniors right now. She's very accessible. You can reach out and talk to her pretty much at any time. And she's guided many people. Myself, I've benefited from her leadership. So with you speaking on that, I think that she is a perfect example. Not necessarily having the town halls, but being active in her community.
I like that.
And people knowing that she cares.
And we thank you for saying that, because you make me think about, I did an interview earlier with Mark Thompson. And that's the one thing that shines about him. He's not an elected leader. He's somebody that the community knows because he's with the people. He's with the people often. And Yes. Councilwoman Jackson does a great job of that, and I think with these, executive decisions, and she does a couple other things that executives working towards it. But I think that a lot more needs to be done, not just with law enforcement. I think the council people. See, one of my biggest things that I really don't like is the fact of the only time you see a lot of these elected officials is when they want your vote.
That's very true.
You don't know how much they really care. You just hear what they say when they're trying to get a vote. Like I said, even going back to these things with 287G. Look, people are only seeing what they see on TV because nobody's saying, hey, let's sit down and talk about these issues. Granted, like I said, Julie said that she's had the NAACP in the office and other entities, but I'm wondering how many people are actually going out here, setting up spots and saying, let's talk about this.
I don't think a lot of people have those types of personalities, and even with you bringing that up, Jermichael Mitchell, Kevin Lindsay have been echoing that for it's 2025, so at least 2 to 3 years they've been saying you don't see these politicians until it's time to vote.
No.
And you have to look at the humility, even though they didn't win the campaign, you still see them very active in the community doing all the things they were always doing.
That's really good. Yeah, especially with Jermichael. My goodness, I think he has actually turned it up since that. And actually, I've got to give him props. I know this is not, we didn't start talking about this, but this is the elephant in the room. We're going to talk about it all, okay? One thing I got to say about with Jermichael Mitchell is he's been a big supporter of what Mayor Randy Taylor, who was the one he was running against. He's been very supportive of the good things that the mayor's been doing. A lot of times you'll see when people lose elections, they start throwing shade, they start getting bitter, and they withdraw from the community.
See, but that's a testament to him being for his community. It wasn't about who was sitting in the seat necessarily. It was about uplifting the community, and he continues to display that.
Wow. And I really wish that more would get out and do that. We're going to see between now and February. I think February is the cutoff for that, right? You start seeing more people out. Even with Kenesha, you see her.
Right.
You see her everywhere, even if she is just doing TikToks in the middle of a Walmart.
Absolutely.
She's out there, and she's with who she's focused on, the young people. Like I said, I want to really start seeing politicians, and I hate using that word, politicians. Potential elected leaders get out there. I don't care if it's blue or red, independent, whatever. People are getting tired of the people who really don't get out there and talk to them. And like I said, when if April is in support of something, I seen she posted something the other day. Okay, everybody knows that April's out there, and April's a registered Democrat. But I noticed that Delegate Barry Beecham shared it. Why? Because he sees Councilwoman April Jackson is out, and what she's talking about is because she's out with people. It's not about her party affiliation, and that's the only reason why she's involved with it. I want to go and talk about something else that I've noticed that, and I really hate this part. When it comes to people running campaigns, they use the homeless.
Educate me on that.
I have seen those that I've never seen out there with the homeless, which my wife and I do a lot of things with Bishop Dickerson and with the Halo, whatever. We've never seen them involved, and all of a sudden people are making kickoff campaigns and saying now kickoff campaigns around the homeless. If it's about working with the community, especially the homeless, you don't need to take a picture. Most of them don't want to be on camera. And you know what the thing is that most of them don't vote. So what do people really accomplish by going on Facebook and all these other places saying, hey, I'm going to be out there with the homeless, take a picture?
I'm completely opposed to it being politicized, but I'm also aware that through that situation, it was able to bring awareness, a broader awareness to the problem. So a lot of people that may not, basically chose to not look that way, not even see that we have a homeless problem here, a big homeless problem. Unfortunately, like I said, it was politicized, but that might be the stepping stone that we need, because others in the community, do you really see a lot of people giving back? You're there at Halo. How many volunteers do you see on a normal night when you're volunteering?
True. Well, we've been mostly with the Christian shelter. There could be more. There could be a lot more. Now, how many do I see that are elected?
Zero.
You know, I do know there was some elected officials that were there for the conversation on the bench with Bishop Dickerson, and he even said there's a lot of them, they disappear after the pictures and after, you know, the photo ops are done, they disappear. They disappear.
So are you demanding that we hold our politicians to a standard?
Yes.
Are you expecting them to, once they're in office, to actually do something about the problem since you started the campaign that way? Is that what we're saying?
I think that people need to follow through with what they say they're going to do in their campaign. People say they're going to be in the community, then they disappear from the community. They said that they're going to, I remember we had Councilwoman Jackson on here before, and she said, you know, a lot of them campaigned, and actually also Jermichael said, a lot of them campaigned on town halls, getting out there, being a voice for the voiceless. But how are you doing that if you're never talking to them? You know? I mean, you know, when it comes to a situation, then I see people on Facebook doing stuff. When they want to rally together and make some money, or get somebody where they're focused on them. But again, like I said, when it comes to food drives, you know, how many of them are involved with food drives? The first prayer vigil that we did with Pastor Craig Mitchell, there were some elected officials out there.
Right.
But soon as WBOC and WMTT disappeared, guess what? All but April Jackson, guess where the rest of them went?
We don't know. You haven't seen them.
You know? So, you know, I commend, like I say, I commend the Councilwoman Jackson. I commend actually the executive because, I mean, being in ministry, I work with her. And if there's something going on, I'll let her know about it. So if she chooses to go out there, it's not because I'm telling her to do for any, I mean, that's why you don't see a lot of pictures of it. But she does get involved. Case in point, and I'm not putting her on definitely want to put her out there for this, but at the same time, there's a guy named Curtis. You know who Curtis is?
I do not.
Curtis is a homeless guy that a lot of people that are watching may see over by the Halo. He's always cleaning. If you ever go over that way, you'll see how
I do know Curtis.
He walks around. He's consistently cleaning.
Always in a good mood.
That part. That part. I personally think that he's an angel, and I know what the Bible talks about. Careful when entertaining him. But one thing that the executive had reached out to me for is like, hey, look, I know Curtis is going around cleaning up. I would like to pay him. You know, I'm hearing that, and there's people that are in opposition of this. I'm hearing that the county's thinking about actually having somebody and paying somebody. I mean, it'd be on the bottom level of payment, you know, maybe $35,000 a year, which is better than nothing. But have someone going around cleaning up, you know. But here's Curtis. But one thing I can tell you that she had asked, she said, I don't know how to get in touch with him. Well, we've been trying to get in touch with him, but again, Curtis, he does it from the heart. But to get him in a certain spot to get paid for it, it's been the hard part. So we're trying to find a way, maybe getting money, maybe put on a card to give to him. But I got to commend her for at least wanting to do that. Again, I want to see more people doing that.
In case the people at home missed that was a call to action. If you know Curtis, we're trying to reach him.
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to put a picture of him up there so when people see this. But yeah, I mean, people go around. I've had people like Holly Worthington. I don't know if you know her, but she's reached out to me when she sees them. People, he does not sleep in any of these shelters.
Oh, wow.
You know, he does not sleep in any. He sleeps. Nobody knows where he sleeps at. But every day he's not out panhandling.
No, he's not.
You know, but again, we've got these people that are in office who say that they care. How many of them ride past him? Now, since we're talking about the homeless, and again, I mean, you know, we got to talk about all these issues. How about what's been going on with the, down here in downtown Salisbury area? You've got the homeless, but yet they open up a dispensary across from a substance abuse clinic. This is across the street from a liquor store. What are we doing to help the homeless?
Wasn't Ann Street supposed to resolve, well, not resolve, but assist with that problem?
It was supposed to.
Okay. So we've started that, at least the city of Salisbury has taken that on. else beyond that, I don't know of too many resources to be very transparent with you. I'm not necessarily opposed to the dispensary. That brings money into the community. People are utilizing it legally.
Sure.
That is, and actually a lot of people use it for health concerns.
Sure. And you know the thing is with the dispensary, my problem is not about it being a dispensary. My question is location.
Okay.
And my question is location because where the new dispensary is where Kitty's Flowers was. I don't know if you know where that is, where Acme is, and then you've got Halo right behind it.
Agreed.
You've got the liquor board, which I don't know why we need a county liquor. I don't even know why the county's in the liquor, but I don't know why the county liquor board's right there by the. Because they could again, people gonna say, well, that liquor board was there before the shelter, okay, but they're paying a rent. They don't own that building. They can easily move. My point is that you got the dispensary right there. You've got the liquor store. You've got the shelter. You've got homeless living outside over there. And here's the biggest thing you also got the substance abuse clinic across the street, right? And yes, there are people who go into those dispensaries and need it for health reasons. But over that way, a lot of them are going over there for recreation. And I mean, and you know, as far as if you already got people who already got a dependency on it over that way, maybe we should have. And again, I do realize that you need these dispensaries. Maybe put it closer to the college.
That's just like it doesn't matter where we put a liquor store, a dispensary, a convenience store. People are going to go. They're going to travel to where they need. So I think people debating on the location, if you want these things bad enough, you're going to go get them anyway. So this is a law-abiding business that brings tax dollars into the community that a lot of people utilize. I understand your concern with it being so close to the substance abuse clinic, but people are gonna buy what they want to buy,
and they're gonna
regardless.
they're gonna go wherever. And again, like I said, yes, I do. They can still have it. I was just wondering the location of it.
So what would be a better suggestion for that? Because it's down from the college per se. It's a lot of neighborhoods back behind Halo that's in walking distance from a lot of people. It's probably bringing more business to Acme and the other facilities that are in that same strip mall.
Sure.
So.
Well, one of the things, and that's a good question. I would think that it would need to be where there's not such a concentration of those that are dependent. Because you're right, it is close to Acme where they could make a profit there. And again, those that are doing this legally, that's fine. But then you also got the Maryland Avenue area that has been very a lot of people who are on other drugs. And unfortunately, you might have some, and it sounds so crazy, but it can happen. You could have some poor little old lady that comes out with, maybe what she has is a script, come out there and I don't know what time the dispensary is closed, but some no good, knock her over the head because that's not well lit over there. Because there's I'm just saying, when you already got a problem, I wonder if bringing that over there, a case in point with the liquor store. I've talked to people who work either at the liquor store or stores around it. It says that they have a bigger problem of shoplifting there than they would other places. Why? Because they're after what they can get right there. You see what I'm saying?
I get it.
So I'm wondering if the location of the dispensary, like there's one on Mount Herman Road. The one on Mount Herman Road, it's out there. It's boom. There's not like a bunch of other stuff going on. There's not a high volume of homeless. There's not a bunch of kids. Well, you do have the school over there, but you don't have people like.
That's exactly what I was gonna say is about the school.
You got the school right there, but
I think that the dispensaries, number one, are already heavily regulated. They're gonna do what is necessary and keep the environment safe. So
good point.
You could come in even when you buy recreational cannabis. You still have like your monthly limit. It's not like you're gonna go in there and buy pounds of it. Like,
I didn't know that.
So even medicinal, you have a monthly limit. So like you and I were conversing early. I'm a combat veteran. I have a medicinal card. I go in there. There's a limit to how much I can purchase in a month.
Sure.
I don't think that necessarily because people are dealing with other things that they're going to be enticed by marijuana. If I was already using heroin,
I see what you're saying there. I see what you're saying there. I mean, and again,
and I know that's an extreme. Forgive me.
Well, no. Well, I mean, you got a good point there. I mean, what I was thinking about, because I did speak to some people when I first heard that they were going there in the Kitty's Flowers. My was concern is again being, I guess, another thing about being with a minister. There are like Halo is considered a church. You know, I was like, so is there any limits on where you can put dispensaries where it's a place of worship? And actually, I think Councilman Merritt told me, he said, well, as long as it's not 500 yards of one, well, and again, I mean, it is what it is, where it is now, but I think there's a Hispanic church right behind there. So I don't even know if that was actually, and I could be wrong, but you know, again, what I'm saying is I just question where it is. Here's another thing for you, Tyler. Growing up, I know, and maybe because I'm older, because the older folk had a problem with there being a liquor store on every corner in the hood. Why only in the hood where there's a liquor store on every corner? Now, some people who can control their liquor are saying, well, that's because I need to get to it and I'm gonna be all right. Well, that's true. But what about those that can't contain themselves? You know, again, we got over at Wawa's, just right over at Wawa's, they got a really bad problem of panhandling. They've got, I mean, you've got, matter of fact, I think there is a business, I don't want to say exactly which one it was, a homeless guy went in there and just got locked up because they said he was going to rob the place because he said he had a gun, even though he did not wear a shirt.
See, but I would say to all of that, as a rebuttal, we already identified that that's how the town already has these issues. So we can't say the dispensary moving in there is like making this worse. This has already been a problem, and we haven't really done anything to resolve it. We haven't done anything about the homelessness. We haven't done anything about the panhandling. We haven't done anything about the stealing. And yet we still have a business that wants to come in and make money in that area. Is this a turning point, or is this the beginning of the downslide? You know, because there are things that we can still be doing. So I think having that conversation based around them maybe might not be the broader issue here. The broader issue is what was already facing, in my opinion.
Right. No. Good point. I mean, I just. Okay, so let's think about where the Christian shelter is versus where Halo shelter is. Okay. Christian shelter, where there are, I mean, there's not really a lot of places other than street drugs where a lot of their clients will go get things, right? And just want to be honest with you, with the Christian shelter, they do randomly
drug tests.
Halo doesn't. And there's a bigger amount. As a matter of fact, they've just had it out again. My concern is the fact that there's so much going on in that area. You've got a lot of people that are chemically dependent. They just had to gate off the old Rite Aid building because there were so many homeless that they were sleeping outside there.
Because we have a homeless problem and we have a vacant building. So why are we criminalizing people for wanting to be warm? Like if you and I were homeless, we want to be warm, right? And that building, it's an eyesore for people. But if you were experiencing homelessness, right? It's about to be in the cold months. If the shelters are full, what do you depend on? Because we'll have a lot of conversations around like the homeless community. You just pointed out expertly, right? But inviting one of them to actually share their story and that dialogue,
that'd be a good idea to do.
That would actually, enlighten a group of a lot of us, myself included. And I think that's what we need to have here, because I think a lot of people will look at them, oh, we got to get them out of here. Obviously, we want you to be warm, but it needs to be done in a way that's actually providing the necessary resources, in my opinion. I don't know how we do that, but I believe that's the direction we need to start moving in.
Yeah. I mean, you're always going to have the poor with you. But it's what are you going to do with that? I can walk down Eastern Shore Drive and I see those behavioral health clinics everywhere. I didn't really know what that was. I thought those were bad kids, but it's really not. But I mean, the problem is I don't think that it's a homeless. It's not a homeless problem we have. Okay. It's a mental illness problem we have. Because I do believe a lot of these things that are going on with people, you see, you can get people places to stay, but if you don't address the problem, all you do is put a Band-Aid on it. There's no, I'm sorry, I apologize. A lot of these places, and it's not looking down on the shelters, because I do know that Bishop Dickerson have programs, and I think Halo has programs, but when they're told they have to leave in the morning, then what? These people are going out stressed. They're going through it. They're going on different places to get their heroin and stuff like that. And it's not even a alcohol. It's not even a drug problem. It's a mental illness thing. They're doing that because it makes them not think of where they are. So my question is are we treating mental illness You know, we're focused on, yes, and I mean, and again, I'm getting back to the dispensary here. Yes, we do have, I mean, a business, and it's great to see more business coming to our area. It really is. But my question is, are we searching out businesses or places to help what's already going on? Yes, there is some that need that, and like you said, the medicinal, there are some that need that. But what are we doing for those with mental illness? You know, I believe that we need at least a mental hospital.
Well, I know many of the mental health agencies closed a few years ago, and then you start to see them popping back up again now. So, if you're going to tackle mental illness, right? But then you're also going to raise everyone's insurance prices. This is in conflict and contrast to what's going on. So, when you say, I've heard President Trump say that, I believe, like, hey, we have a mental health problem, and this is what we need to resolve. But then months after that, everyone's insurance premium is going up. The Obama affordable health care is basically, those tax credits are gone.
Okay.
So if we're going to resolve the mental health problem, that requires money. So let's just say hypothetically we do. I don't have the statistics, so I won't really speak on that. But if we do have that mental health problem, how do you resolve it while we're in opposition to what the federal government wants to do?
I think that we have a mental health issue nationwide.
Okay.
Nationwide. My wife and I were we were invited to watch this thing that it had over Halo. It was like Americans Without Walls, something like that. What basically was talking about how there's a homeless problem everywhere, but it's a mental illness. You know, there are states. California was one of them that actually they compound and bring all the homeless that have some kind of a dependency into one area, and they feed them whatever they want. They literally had them all gated into one area and just feed them. At least we're containing it.
That's awful.
That's not taking care of the problem.
That's awful.
That's not taking care of the problem. If you were to do some research, maybe I will do this for our next setting, but if you do the research on how many mental health or mental hospitals have been closed down in the last 30 years, it'd be staggering. As a kid, you heard about what they were called the nut house, and you're like, oh, but listen, it wasn't. That's because people made it too Hollywood. First of all, it wasn't a nut house. There were places where people could get help, and they shut them down. There was one in Cambridge. It's not there anymore. But then you got these places that close at 5 o'clock. Not saying that these places, community health, behavioral places are not working, but you can't just put them into a shelter. And like I said, kick them out during the day. And no, maybe the dispensary is not, the area where the dispensary is not a bad area. But when you've got walking zombies walking around with no help, they're looking for the next thing to do. And unfortunately, like I said earlier, you might have somebody who does have the, what do you call those cards? The medical marijuana card, the medicinal card. They got it legally, and they come out with it. Somebody who's can't get their fix, because trust me, I've been approached by them, may come and knock them out because they said, well, at least I can get a little high.
I don't think we can criminalize like being homeless and immediately say it's a mental health thing.
Right.
I think that
not all of them, but a lot of them.
Well, our economy is terrible.
Yeah.
And once again, not to politicize it, but if you have the series, rent is way too high. A lot of people have fallen on hard times. There's probably a few people that have mental health concerns and can't keep stable housing. And there's so many other areas where people may need resources that it would be difficult for me to immediately say, oh, you're homeless, this is a mental health problem.
Right.
This could be a financial.
Sure.
So a lot of us that are housed and feel good about ourselves, let's be honest here. There's a lot of people that are a paycheck away from being homeless.
As Bishop Dickerson says, we are all one tragedy away from being homeless.
I prefer that better. Yes.
You know? Right. No, I agree. Not all, and I do apologize, but I may have said that because I talk fast here. No, not all that are homeless have a mental problem.
Okay.
There are those that literally, like I said, when we work with families, there are those that literally, they got their head on right. There are families like that, but also there's a kid, I'm not going to say his name, over at the Christian shelter, college kid. Because the rent is too high, he's going to be leaving for the Marines in December, but he has no place to stay right now.
Wow.
You know, I mean, when I did a research the other day, and when we do have Bishop on, I want to bring up that stat again, but the average, it takes $3,000 is the average amount it takes a single person to live in Salisbury. And that's at the minimum.
Wow.
Now, how many of us is making $3,000 a month? So you're right. There's a lot of them that, but here's the thing, that can sometimes be the beginning of the mental illness. Because
True.
you can't get the things together. You got kids, you got them crying, you trying to make ends meet. And unfortunately, look, there's some that's turned to drugs, some to prostitution, some to just things I don't even want to talk about. So you're right. We do need to do something about the housing issue. Because that is a big thing. We got to do something about the mental problem. But my question is, I think it starts with this: priorities. What we were talking about earlier. Nobody's talking to the community about the priorities.
No.
Where we started up our elephant in the room here with, you got to get out and talk to people, whether it's the council people, whether it's the mayor, whether it's the executive, whether it's law enforcement. You got to talk to the people.
I think now, like, if I could sum up what you said, the community needs resources, to which you and I would agree. The community needs resources, not necessarily, I feel like a lot of people are politicizing the problem and focusing more so on what the federal or the state is doing instead of looking at our local community and our concerns here. So even when we have these talking points and you meet with your local politician, they're talking points. What of it is actually about our community? What are you going to do about the south side of Salisbury? What are you going to do about some of the other things we talked about? So, resources. Because I think you and I might have a difference of opinion on how to go about it, but our foundation is exactly the same.
And thank you. I do believe that as well. I mean, the question is what are we going to do from here? A lot of times you said it, they're stuck in their political bubble. We need to stop focusing on the local level. Your national politics, deal with that when you're dealing with who's going to be the next president. But we need to set all of that aside and say, what are the priorities, and let's get to it. My goodness, we were just talking about this at the executive thing. We go 2 years of doing nothing but bickering. The county has a lot of things that needs to be done.
Exactly.
We need to put our political aside, and like I said, yes, we do need to have housing. Yes, we do need more jobs. Okay, so which more important? Or is nobody really saying that we're just grouping it all together and say this is something we need? But it's political season, so guess what? Vote for me.
That's kind of what I'm seeing right now, and I'm glad you framed it that way because that's exactly what's happening. And I don't know, even if our politicians get more in the community, I think a lot of them will realize they're biting off more than they can chew. Because once you get there and you realize all the problems that are actually taking place, who is actually well prepared, who's been in their community that would already know about these issues and concerns, who's been in the community already having these conversations, and who just decided to run.
Sometimes politicians can mirror a overmotivated preacher. You say a whole lot, sounds great, but how much of it do you really believe yourself? Wow.
I pause on that one.
I mean, it really comes down to it. Where is your heart? They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And, I encourage everybody, never vote a party line. Never. Why? Because you're going to get exactly what you did.
Who's the best for your community?
Well, you're going to get somebody who's only doing it because somebody else told them to do it. You go based on who's going to do the best for your community, who has your best interest in mind, who's got their right priorities. Before you start choosing, see what they're doing in the community. See if they're out there like April. See if they're hiding behind a bunch of other people talking about everything else. The school board, we got, my goodness, we got that coming up. Our kids are important. Our kids are important. And if we get focused on, look, if you were to ask the executive, I heard her say a couple of times about a supermajority on that council. That supermajority on the council has done nothing to help.
I heard her say it.
So it's not about party line. It's about passion line. How about that?
Love it.
That's
what it's about.
Wow. Tyler, I could go on for it. No, go ahead, finish up. You got something in your head.
No, I'm listening. I'm taking in what you're saying because I do actually agree with that entire last portion.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's one of these things where if we don't do it now, then when? And how about this? What we do now is going to impact what happens tomorrow. And there's eyes looking. There's those young people. I mean, I'm in my late 40s. I mean, I just found out that he's actually older than I thought he was. But he's looking at, you look at April Jackson, what she does, right? Mm-hmm. That motivates you. Who are you motivating in what you're doing? And are you motivating them in the right direction? That's the question I want people to start thinking about. You know?
Agreed.
Wow.
And you know, we got so far off track from the first interview, but I love the conversation. Did you want to go back? Or we're good?
No, you know, the thing is with Elephant in the Room, we're going to address those things that nobody talks about.
Oh, sounds good.
You know, we talked about it, and we can go ahead back to saying a little bit about it before we close out here. I mean, I do believe that because we are going to have our next executive decision, I do believe that we picked well who our host is going in there, both you and Pax, because you both come from two different, you know, spectrums or different places, but you both have the public in mind. What I like about our executive is she doesn't, when I told her who's going to come in there, okay, I said, look, it's not going to just be me. There are those out there that think that I'm the only one that can get in there and talk to her, and she tells me what to ask. That is not the case, because my family lives here too. But I do believe when we got that group in there, matter of fact, I mean, people who saw that you said, oh, we ain't got much time left. And what did she say? No. Ask your questions.
Yes, she did.
We want that. We want that in office. Now, is she going to do everything right? Absolutely not, because nobody does everything right. But the thing is how transparent are these people? You know? We're going to get ready for our next one. I just want to say this before we finish up here. We're going to get ready for our next executive decision. I'm encouraging all that knows Tyler. You got questions for the executive? I'm talking about those questions that you've been wanting to ask. Get with him. If you know me, get with me. If you don't know how to get up with either one of us, Bridging the Gap 238@gmail. I promise you, we will get it out there, because it's very important that the community gets the final say. In closing, got anything else you would like to say before we close out?
I'm not going to add anything to what you just said there, because I believe everyone should sit with that. Thank you for having me again.
No problem. See, again, I just want to say this before we close out with Elephant in the Room. The Elephant in the Room is not like any of our other segments where you got us interviewing or we're all going to be sitting here is all pretty. No, we're going to talk about those things that we normally don't talk about. Does that mean him and I or Pax and I or Colin and I or whoever's at the table are all going to agree? Absolutely not. But that's why we have the Elephant in the Room. So we cannot agree and get together and get some things that we agree upon. You always rejoice in those things you agree upon, and you pray about those things that you don't, and watch what happens. This has been another Elephant in the Room. This is Bridging the Gap. My name is David James.
Tyler Jones.
Thank you again. We'll be talking soon.
It's named the Elephant in the Room for a reason. True talking turn man mortars. Ran forward, main fast forward. To the land's borders, young abnormal. Know they wish my fed like a bad organ. In the time of battle, go red form. Snake eyes and rattles, serpents and scorpions. Whole lot of beef and you can't avoid. Dr. Kevorkian. Boys lining up with that green. Niggas fake news, that green screen. Most sleep, Hakeem dreams. Scared movie, we seen screens. First Street with PCP, LSD and Luigi. Powder ice, no peace, cheap keys. The drill music, he cheap keys. It's coming, gotta plot the war. Bad ladies ain't the outperform. Swinging hard as a box of torn. Me and Mario should bite this morning. It's all hot, don't got a cord. NASA boss in the rocket launch. Truck running over, our pot spoiling. Life or death, bo, you out of choice. I know all about it. What kind of boss don't supply employment? What kind of schooler don't got no course? Only the coos get the top endorsements. Papa Bay got the hottest pour. A drought on the word, but we got a shortage. Give us a call working by appointment. Most of these prophets is not annoying. So stunning when I go Joe Budden. Can't go money, never low on budget. Give a damn about the polo bucket. These mumble rappers high and ain't got no substance. Same when they call solo Dougie. Young Tay dudes don't owe no money. Roll slow when that photo bug. And the boy grew rise like go nugget. Still let where I go, but your popos hunt. Oh, you ain't no think I won't go public. What you talking about? No show for no luggage. Dub is a trip, I got Bobo come. Still hot off the slab with the motor still running. Presets by the bill, how you don't know numbers. You don't know